What's going on, y'all? I just first wanted to say thank you to new subscribers, and I appreciate it. Thank you for all the comments. I answered back to most of them, but I just wanted to say it in the video. And also, I want you guys to head over to my Twitter and suggest to me any kind of album or music that you think I may have not heard, and suggest it to me, and I might listen to it on here. If I heard it, obviously I can't listen to it again because I've already heard it. But yeah, if you don't think I've heard it before, head over to my Twitter. You can even message it to me, and I'll respond to you like maybe I heard it, or I'll respond and be like, oh, maybe I'll give it a listen on this channel. So again, thank you to the new subscribers. More to come. Enjoy the video. Okay, what is going on, humans? You got your boy Daniel P here again, and today I want to pose a question to you that was asked to me by a friend right there. He basically asked me, if you were put on an island and you only had 10 albums to choose from that you would have to listen to on that island forever, I'm guessing, he didn't specify, but basically, which albums would you choose? When he asked me this question, you know, thought I knew like 10 off the dome, but like towards the end it started getting harder for me to pick between certain albums because I need to make it before that gap. But it was fun for me to answer, so I thought I would ask you guys the same question. So I'm going to give you the albums that I chose. They're not in any particular order, or like if I chose an album, it doesn't mean it's the best album from that artist. I'm not saying that, but I chose these albums for particular reasons, whether they be like it was a certain point in my life or they remind me of something. And I chose these albums just because some of them are just really good albums that really stuck out to me, and I've always loved them. So without further ado, let's get to it. I don't know. Okay, for the first album, you already know I chose Man on the Moon 1. This album was just a very important album to me as a teenager in high school when it came out. I think 2009, September 15, 2009. I was just a teenager, you know, I was still trying to understand life in a corny way. I was trying to, you know, I didn't think anyone understood me and all kinds of emo stuff like that. And you know, this album really spoke to me. I really loved his music beforehand, and then going into this album I loved it, and I just followed Kid Cudi all the way through. He's still my favorite artist, and yeah, Kid Cudi's my boy. Okay, for my second album I have Born Sinner. Definitely one of my favorite albums from g.o.o.d. Just when it came out, I remember I think I just started dating my girlfriend. It was like in June, and that was just this summer anthem. I was just listening to that album just all the way through, non-stop, that entire summer 2013, and you know, it was just such a good album from him. And then he came through with that Forest Hill Drive. Just this was definitely an album that I chose over his previous works. It's not that I didn't like J. Cole beforehand, it was just I didn't care for him that much. Like, I knew he had bars and all, but I wasn't like on his wagon yet. Pause, if that's a pause. But yeah, this album definitely put me onto him a lot more, and it's just one of my favorite albums. I still listen to it to this day. I know every word. So, Born Sinner. Album number 3 would be Because of the Internet by Childish Gambino. This album was hands down one of my favorite albums of 2013, 2014 really, because it came out like December. So this album was getting played non-stop, like to the point where every time somebody got in the car with me, they were like, "You playing this album again?" Like they were annoyed with how many plays of this album were going down in my car. But it had to be done. You know, I read the script and everything. It just felt like it's so well put together. So many emotions in the album, and I really appreciated like every song. Like I know every word. I remember what part of the script that the song was from. Like I knew this album in and out, and it's remained one of my favorite albums. Definitely coming on me pause that. Definitely coming with me on that island. Definitely giving it some quality listen throughs. My fourth is, I don't know if this is cheating or not, Trilogy by The Weeknd. The Trilogy is all three of the mixtapes that came out in 2011. That's why I said I don't know if it's cheating. If I had to choose one, it would be House of Balloons. But anyway, this Trilogy was just such good music. I remember getting into The Weeknd in 2011. I think it was like June. I heard that House of Balloons, but it had come out in like March or something. And my brother was like all over it because Drake had it on his website, October's Very Own. And he was like, "Oh, you need to listen to this." And I like kind of ignored him for a while. And then I remember just giving it a try in June, and it just sucked me in really, really quick. You know, you can see by now I'm an avid. When I get into something, I just keep listening to it. Like it just keeps on playing in my head. I gotta listen to it. I just keep on listening to the album. So I'm listening to this House of Balloons. I'm putting all my friends on, like, "Yo, you gotta listen to The Weeknd. You gotta listen to The Weeknd." And just ever since then, I've been following The Weeknd as well. And you know, Thursday, he was just so mysterious. He was like really mysterious, and that's what played a factor in why I was so into him. I think I was just trying to figure out more about him, but like he wouldn't let anybody take pictures or nothing. And then he just randomly drop albums. Like you would be on his Twitter. I remember he had like 400 something people on his Twitter, and I was one of them. But yeah, it would randomly just pop up like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's this album," and just hit you right in your head because it's just so good. Okay, album number 5. This is where it started getting kind of hard because I knew I had to put a Kanye West album on here. I know I have to, but all of his albums are literally good. Like, it was really hard to choose this one, but in the end, I ended up choosing 808s and Heartbreaks. Now, this does not make it Kanye West's best album ever, but just with me, the way it came into my life, the memories it carries with it, I feel like this is an album that I would bring with me on this island. It was just such an emotional album. It was like, I think it was right after Kanye West's mom died. Yes, it was right after Kanye West's mom died, and everyone was like, "Oh, Kanye's going crazy, all this and that." And like, oh, I remember doubting this album too, like a whole auto-tune album. Like, what is this? I did not think it was going to be good at all. I had low expectations for this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had low expectations for this. And then it came out, it was just so good. Like it was done so well. Like nothing I was expecting at all at the time. I was really doubting Kanye West. I think that's the first time and the last time I doubted Kanye West. So 808s and Heartbreaks, definitely an album that would come with me. These next few are kind of influenced by what I was around growing up. So for my number 6 is definitely the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Now this album, you know how I said I was playing albums back to back every time I get in the car? My mom was playing this album so much that I, once again, could tell you every word on this album, mostly every word. I don't want to get put on the spot, but I could tell you most of the words on this album because of the way that my mom was playing it in the car. So this was definitely an influential album in my life, and it's an album that I know a lot of the words to, and I'll never forget. It's kind of engraved in my head. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. This seventh one, Usher's Confessions. This was, I think I was getting a little older, so like I knew the words. I can comprehend the words a lot more, and I knew what was going on a little more. My mom played this album to death. This album played, like, I don't even have a time span. She played it for so long, and as a result, I know all of the words. You can test me on this because I literally know all of the words because my mom played this to death. She always played this album, which made it a favorite of mine, and it's still a good album to this day. I think it's I'm not even gonna say I think it's definitely Usher's best album. Yes, I'm gonna say it. Better than his first album. Best album. Usher's best album. Test me. I know every word. Album number 8 was hard for me to pick just because both Kendrick's albums are so good and they were both really important to me. I love them both. It's still hard for me to even say, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with Good Kid, m.a.a.d. I'm gonna go with Good Kid, m.a.a.d. That's what these were. Good Kid. It was a To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, m.a.a.d. The album was just so good. It seemingly, to me, kind of came out of nowhere. You know, Kendrick was on my radar. He was already on my radar. But just the way the album was presented, you know, it was like a story. And I just wasn't expecting that from Kendrick. And it was just really good. It really got you into it. The music was good. You were paying attention to what was being said at the end. Like, you want to see what's going to happen next. And it was just such a good album from Kendrick. Good first album. Something that I haven't really seen before this album. Before. No, it's something I hadn't seen before this album. And it's just so different. I loved it. You know what I just noticed, y'all? Ain't even tell me Tyrese over here. I'm being rude. I didn't even let Tyrese in the picture. What's going on, Tyrese? How you doing? He's in here now. Okay, this might come out of left field coming from me, but my number 9 would have to be 50 Cent's The Massacre. When I was younger, I might have been like kind of too young to be listening to this, but I was always kind of surrounded by music, as you can tell, and this was 50 Cent's second album. So by this time, everyone's going through the gangster phase. You know, when 50 Cent came out and like, get rich or die trying, to gangster feel, makes everybody feel gangster when they listen to it. So I was sucked into that persona when I was younger. I was living in Asbury, New Jersey. You know, everybody around there was predominantly black. So that was what was going on. That was what was going on, you know. Everybody had them bootlegs going, and this is what I was listening to at the time. Okay, my number 10 album was kind of hard to pick because this Artem Knight, this artist just came out with an album that has really been played a lot by me, and you know by now that's a sign that it's gonna be one of my favorite albums. We're gonna continue and say my number 10 album, this is the last album, is Channel Orange, Frank Ocean. Channel Orange was such a good album. it was so different. It was nothing like what came out around that time, and it was just so unique. You know, most of the time, some of the stuff I was like, what is he even talking about? It just sounds good. I don't know what he's even talking about. And as I continued to listen, and as I used Rap Genius and all those stuff to look up all the stuff he's talking about, I understood, and it's just such a good album to me. And he made such a bold statement before the album came out, coming out of the closet and then just dropping his album. So it was such a good album. I feel like it went behind a lot of people, like because they weren't really paying attention to Frank Ocean. It wasn't on their radar, and I don't know what to say to you. Such a good album. Should not be passed up. If you're listening to this new album and you haven't heard the first, you need to go back and listen to the first. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Go back. No, I'm just playing. If you haven't heard the first album, you have to go back and listen to the first one. It's amazing. Such an amazing album. I still know every word to it. Yeah. Amazing album. Okay, y'all. Those are my 10 albums. Like I said, they were in no particular order. Like, doesn't make it my favorite if it's number 1 or number 10. Like I said again, it's not the best album from each artist. It's just personally to me what I chose because of how it had why can't I speak today? Because of how it had an effect on my life and what kind of emotions it brought to me, what kind of emotions it helped me to get through. And yeah, that's why I chose my 10. What I want you to do, Kevin Harthand, what I want you to do is write in the comments below your top 10 albums. You know, they could be from any couple of artists. You could put any artist you want in there. You can mix and match, whatever. A little bit of homework. Let me know how you felt about mine. How about that? Let me know how you felt about mine. Put yours. I'll comment. I'll let you know. Maybe how I feel. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's trash. That's a trash album to pick. But I can relate. I can maybe relate if you put certain ones. And I don't know. You can put a reason if you want to. It's up to you, man. Calm down. And you know, make sure you thumbs up people's comments. Thumbs up this video, of course. Get it around. What else I want to say? Thank you for watching. Oh, yeah. Like I was saying, head over to my Twitter. Let me know any album reactions you want me to do. Single reactions even. You want me to do that you think that I haven't heard. If I have heard it, I'll let you know. And yeah, thank you for watching again. Have a blessed day.